The following Dumbing It Down with Dave episode is rated D for dumb. But I'll let Harry confirm that.
The following program is rated D for dumb.
There you go. That was Harry. AI voice. That Linda Irwin. I almost said Linda Lavin. Linda Irwin from Awesome Insanity Surfer. She provided that. And now this is Hal and Philly singing the number one hit song, Going for a Drive. Do it, Hal.
9 o'clock, I'm bored to death. Smoke so much I can smell my own breath. My baby left me, my best friend's not at home. Can't get that woman off my mind. I've never been the brooding kind, but there's still one thing makes me come alive. Yeah, I'm gone for a drive.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
All right. Thank you, Alex Exum. ALEXEXUM. AlexExum.com with live talk on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Hey, guys, you want to go for a drive? That's fantastic. That's what we're doing. I am in the Dodge Caravan, the Dodge Grand. It's a Grand Caravan. I didn't even really realize that. Somebody said that to me the other day. I was doing something. I don't know if I ever told you guys my U-Haul story. I had a U-Haul story last week. I don't know if I told you about that, but if I didn't, I'll get to it. And you guys remember my episodes more than I do. But the guy said, you got a Grand Caravan? I went, I don't know. It's a regular caravan. I don't know if it's so grand. You know, if it was a friend of mine, they always like to make fun of my name because my last name is Canyon. So, you know, every so often it was, oh, Grand Canyon. I'm like, oh, boy. But that's the first indication we're not going to be friends. If somebody says, oh, a Grand Canyon? Yeah. Okay, so next person. But when I say it, it's okay. When they say it, I get annoyed. So anyway, U-Haul and what was I talking about? I'm lost. So anyway, let's just move on. The U-Haul story. I'll tell you the U-Haul story one day. I have a Grand Caravan. I didn't know I had a Grand Caravan. It's a 2011 Grand Caravan. Let's do a mileage report real quick. Why not? What's the mileage on this caravan since I've been using it so much? I bought this thing, I think, with 77,000 miles, and now it's 90,000. Holy cow. I've had this for over a year. I took this to Orlando for PM, Podcast Movement 19, and back. That was 3,000 some odd. I forgot how many miles it was. But anyway, so the Dodge Caravan is still running good. I am enjoying it. I love it. I can't wait to get a new Caravan one day if I have to. Otherwise, this will be my last vehicle ever. I would like this to be my last vehicle ever. It rides like a boat. Rides like a dream. Anyway, you're riding shotgun with me? I got plenty of room for everybody to ride shotgun with me. It is November 20th, and the time is, what time is it? I think it's, I can't read it. I think it's about 11 o'clock a.m. I'm first getting on a road here called 787 South, headed towards the Thruway, the New York State Thruway, the cashless tolls New York State Thruway mess. It's a mess. If you're a doubles truck driver, if you're a doubles company, which I've explained, I think, several times on the show, so I'm not going to get into it today, but it's a mess. It really needs to be explained visually what's going on. And I just want to quickly thank Mario Cuomo and the New York State Thruway Authority for absolutely messing it up for all the doubles companies. I mean, it's just a complete mess. You know, on certain nights of the week, I will drive, depending on the tractor, between 85 to 90 miles before I get started. I'm already over 2 hours in the hole, and I have to drive 85 to 90 miles before I get started on a 14-hour day because we have to have cashless tolls. And while they set up this New York State Thruway, so that means that all the toll barriers are being destroyed, if not already. It's not all done. They're still working on it. So they're destroying exit 23 right now. Exit 24, they're destroying it. With a machine, boom, 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 and they're just crushing the concrete. And that's the noise I make when I want to do heavy equipment. Boom, 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 boom. It's the banging. With that pile driver thing, jackhammer or whatever they call it. So they're destroying exit 24. But they just set up a bunch of rules about where we can go to put our sets together. And really, no kidding, folks. There are certain days where I have to do somewhere between 85 to 90 miles. That's a lot of diesel fumes in the air. That's a lot of payroll. That's a lot of driving. And by the way, that's a little bit extra toll collection. That's another thing about this whole deal. What a racket. A little extra toll collection for the cashless toll New York State Thruway. What a racket. And it's screwing the economy up. Okay, I did a show on this. Let's move on. I want to finish up. So that's everything. I did everything. I thanked everybody, and I told you the date. Oh, what's the weather? What was the other thing I told? I told you the date. I did the mileage report. Oh, no, the mileage report is 90,349. That's the mileage report in the Caravan. The Kia is still rolling, and it's still not at 300,000, but I'm going to start taking that. I got to start taking that Kia to work again. I haven't taken the Kia to work for a while. I really do enjoy driving this van. I hate putting miles on it, like unnecessary miles. I only want to take this out when I go camping or hiking, for special trips. But I just love it so much. I take it to work. Okay, so we did that. Let's just go to comments. I want to catch up with the comments. Let's hit this button here. I got nothing else. I got no voicemails to play you that I know of. Maybe I do, but I just don't know about it. Let's go to Spreaker. This guy is right up my butt. Connecticut plates now. He's got some foreign plates. Let's do this. I just want to quickly mention before I get to episode 262. Oh, somebody with a U-Haul thing. Somebody just moved up here. Well, they're moving away. Okay, doesn't matter. Nobody cares. 262, we will get to My Month of Hell, Part 3. The finale, finally. Finale, finally. That was what I titled it. But let me just quickly go through the last couple of episodes here, in case you've missed it. Democracy, a definition, episode 269. So that was my last episode. I hope you guys enjoy that. Maybe we'll get to the comments of it today. I don't know. That was my most recent episode. What Now? First of many parts. I realized last week, I listened to that show, I realized that, I forgot what show it was. Maybe it was the other one, 269. That there was stories that I started that I didn't finish, and I never got to the listeners' comments. I played the voicemails from Mr. Spencer and Mr. Massey, but I never got to the comments. So we'll get to that. And 267, who's going to win? Where I make my bold prediction that Donald Trump was going to win this presidential election and win it big. Which, of course, most of us know that he did. And then, somebody played with the electronics at the Dominion software and stole the election. But we're not going to do that this episode. We're not going to do that. We're just going to get into My Month of Hell, Part 3, finale. Finally. All right. By the way, if you're listening on a podcast platform that you cannot write your comments and responses to things I say and do, at Twitter, at Done With Dave, on Twitter, at Done With Dave, email, dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com, or there's the website, dumbingitdownwithdave.com. I have a comment section there. I have a thing you can comment. It works. Go to the page, and, oh, by the way, I also got a blog now. Check out my blog. That's at dumbingitdownwithdave.com. I'm going to have to post that link in the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. Another way you can comment and engage with the show. So if you want to write, those are the ways you can type, you can write, you can text, post, whatever you want to call it. If you'd rather speak, I like speaking. If you want to speak to me and you want to get your comments played on the show, you can call a number that I have. By the way, if you want to speak to me and not have your comments played on the show, just say, Dave, I'm leaving a voice message because I don't want to type, but I don't want you to air it on the show. I won't air it on the show. I respect you. I won't air it on the show. But I think you should also write that if you don't want me to read what you said. Like, in other words, I have a transcript of it, so I can read what you said. So if you'd rather me read it instead of people listening to your voice, you can do that. You want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous. Whatever you want to do. I'm not here to make trouble. Okay, anyway, but the phone number is 3477-I-AM-DUMB, 3477-I-AM-DUMB, or 347-746-3862. 347-746-3862. Please keep it clean. Somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds. Makes it easy to download. And thank you very much for doing that. If you're listening in the Russian Federation, you're my 1 or 2 listeners, please, even if it's in Russian, any language, please, I encourage you to call. I encourage you to go say, I can't do a Russian accent, but, say, Bisnachen David, and then just get right to it. Do the Russian Federation speak and tell me about where you're listening. Just 30 to 60 seconds of Russian. For those of you in India, feel free to comment. The Philippines, the UK, or Alidade, Australia. I think it's called Alidade. Call the Google number. Although I don't know if that Google is available everywhere. It might not be available everywhere. But I cannot stress enough how cool it is, how great it is when people engage with the show. Usually I get the same 3 or 4 or 5 people. I find that fascinating. Maybe it's because they know me, like they know me already. But I like to hear from 3 or 4 or 5 people that don't know me, never met me. Alidade, Australia, Russian Federation, Budapest, China, Japan, all these countries, Scotland. Whoever you are in Virginia, I got all these cities and states. I want to hear from everybody. I love to hear from everybody. It'd be great. Okay, so I already gave you the phone number and all this other stuff. All right, My Month of Hell, Part 3, finale, finally. In this episode, Dave initially plans to read comments, but transitions into telling about his Month of Hell, Part 3 to the series. Yeah, it took a while to finish it up. It took a while for me to get to Part 3. Okay, so what are the comments on this episode? 6 comments. Not bad. How many likes? Counting likes now. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5. I think 5 or 6 likes. All right, that's good. Keep them coming, folks. Oh, by the way, don't hesitate. If you haven't done it already, I should post a link on how to do it. Go to Apple. Give me a 5-star rating and a good review. Dumbing It Down with Dave. I love the show. I love running shotgun with Dumbing It Down with Dave. I like listening to what Dave has to say. You should be listening too. Whatever. And don't forget to click like and share and subscribe. All that stuff, it helps. It really does. All right. Linda Irwin starts off the comment. I mean, I wrote something, but I only wrote, thank you for listening. I like to put a little tip jar. I'll start the tip jar, Linda Irwin wrote, Hello, Harry and the wrong number. Also, Shalonda. And, of course, Dave. Linda Irwin wrote, I heard you pop a top on a Miller. Oh, yeah. Did I have a Miller beer? Yeah, that was good. Well, I can't wait till this weekend. I should get even in a can. I like Miller beer. I do. And you know what? If I could find PBR, I would drink PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon. I don't need expensive beers. I'm not spending all that money on a beverage I'm only renting. Linda Irwin wrote, I get tempted during very bad emotional times to just disappear from the public altogether. I am not sure I would actually go through with it, but I think about it. What if we were homeless due to fires? What if I caught the virus? I think about those things. Great job, Linda. Yeah, you get tempted, during very bad emotional times to just disappear from the public. Oh, I think about it all the time. And sometimes I just, I wish this. I mean, do you want your host to say this? You want, your favorite podcast host to say this? I don't think you do. Sometimes I just wish they go, all right, we're taking away podcasts from the world. People who are not qualified to be on network radio or network television or even local television or local radio should not be doing their own shows. By the way, and I sort of agree with that. Like, wait a minute. Just because I know how to turn this thing on, I get to have my own show and I get to be listened to all over the world? No. And I get to make $10 every 2 months? No. It's I shouldn't be allowed to do this show. It's wrong, but I do it. So I one day I want to wake up and I want to hear, oh yeah, we took away podcasting, and the next step, take away the internet. Send me back to 1977 where I'm 14 years old, and we don't have this. Like, send me back to when I'm 14 years old, and I'm jealous of the kid down the block that's got a set of walkie-talkies. Send me back to the time where we were on the CB and everybody was like adjusting their antennas, you know, CQ, or is that ham radio? Whatever, you know, yeah. Send me back a time where I have to learn Morse code and I have to learn how to get a license. I think I got to get a license for ham radio. And I set up this big antenna in my backyard, and it annoys my neighbors because the TV interference is too much for them. I would love them to get rid of the internet. Get rid of it. I don't think it's done us any good. I'm going to do an episode on that one day. I know it's in my head. I won't forget. It's just, we got to get rid of the internet. I think it's one of the worst things that's ever happened to the United States or to the world in general. Yeah, I know. It's like TV. Oh, no, there's good stuff. You know, Sesame Street. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm talking about The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and all that other crap. All right. It's enough of sounding like an old man. Thank you, Linda. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would go through it either. But, yeah, the other stuff is more important. What happens if you were homeless? Because, yeah, you're always under fire there. You're either under snow or under fire. It's I got to pick the 1 week where it's safe to visit one day when I'm traveling, when Dave's Fit Life hits the road. Patrick Maruki wrote, 30 years doing video/audio production. The work dried up for various reasons. I had to get a day job to survive. At one point, I had 2 day jobs. Now I have 1 day job. I have audio, video, production part-time and work with my wife producing comedy shows. Yes. I was calling her Simone. It's Simon. Randy. Simon Lupo, who does not comment on my podcast. She probably doesn't listen to this podcast. I would like that. I like Patrick Maruki listening to it. But I would really I like it when women check in with me. It validates me. Men are dopey. They'll follow anything. Women are not that dopey. They're very particular about what they listen to. Sorry, guys. I just think it's true. Especially if I'm a guy and you're a woman and you're listening to me, that means, you know, you're like, oh, wait a minute. This guy is something special. Guys will listen to wrestling shows. Professional. It's like 200,000 wrestling shows. I like when I go to Podcast Movement. A guy goes, I go, hey, well, you going to do a podcast? Oh, yeah. I came here. I want to start a podcast. What do you do? I'm going to do a show about professional wrestling. I go, oh, yeah, you and the other 200,000 guys. Off the mat. On the mat. From the top rope. You know, they all these clever wrestling ring names, whatever. All right. Anyway, thank you, Patrick Maruki, for commenting and listening to the show. I appreciate you sharing. And maybe one day, Randy, Simon Lupo will comment. She's commented once. She did like 2 podcasts. I was all over it. You know, commenting, listening, all this other stuff. Whatever. It's okay. I do for other people. A lot of people don't do for me. It's fine. All right. I do audio video production part-time and work with my wife producing comedy shows. I also produce a few podcasts. You do what you got to do in life. I didn't know you produce a few podcasts. You don't produce mine, Patrick. I asked him. You're too busy. You're too busy. Yeah, I know. It's okay, Patrick. Thank you anyway. Thank you, Patrick. I'm glad we're friends. I'm glad you like me. I think you like me. Even though your wife hit on me. I'm glad you like me. She didn't hit on me. She just said I was hot. And that got me nuts. I was like, what? A woman said I'm hot? You know what, ladies? You don't say that enough, by the way. It's always us. We have to get the flowers. We have to say, oh, you look great. We're like, it's so much work. Blah, blah, blah. Comment. God forbid anybody should say something positive to me. Anyway. I mean, it's, you know, you don't have to say like, oh my God, what's that bulge in your pants? You don't have to say things like that. You just say, hey man, you look good. Hey man, you smell good. Hey, I like your teeth. They're clean and white. What do you groom? You groom yourself? You floss? say nice things to me. But we're so busy with them. How do they feel? So anyway, one day I was doing a comedy show, and Randy Simon Lupo was emceeing. She was the hostess. Patrick Marucci was the producer at Pat's place in Nutley, New Jersey, I think it was. And was it my Jersey debut? It might have been. I don't think so. It was my professional Jersey debut. I've done open mics in Jersey. And Randy Simon Lupo introduced me to the crowd. I was the opening act. I took the hit. I took the bullet. I did pretty well. I think so. And she said something like, I have it on tape. Oh, well, I have it on DVD, actually. I don't care. I think he's hot. Like, what? I had a boner throughout the whole episode. It's very embarrassing. You can see it. No, I didn't. But anyway, what the hell am I muttering about? Why am I muttering this episode? You know why? Because I'm a little loopy. I'm a little loopy for Randy Simon Lupo. All right. Anyway, Pat's enjoying this. I think he is. All right. Bobby Massey. Look at that. Bobby Massey commenting. Bobby Massey wrote, absolutely, couldn't agree more, period. If you do happen to get laid off, the only option is to reinvent yourself somehow, some way. There is no other option. Well, unless you want to be a statistic and just live off the government assistance by choice, which would be incredibly sad. The fact of the matter is, this is still Bobby Massey talking. The fact of the matter is that everyone makes mistakes. It's human nature. I worked 10 to 12 hour shifts sitting in an office doing a relatively monotonous job. Mistakes happen, just like businesses that hire people who turn out to be very slick and are truly only out for themselves. They would never admit to doing wrong, but are quick to let people go to save themselves. It was a great job, benefits, but they needed to save themselves due to COVID-19, not save 25%, and now another 25% layoffs coming, by the way, of their employees. I think he's talking about the helicopter company that I forgot the name, Associated Aircraft or something like that. No, there was another name he mentioned in a previous show, but it doesn't matter. Bobby Massey was a helicopter dispatcher. How cool is that? Now I'm glad he didn't get me a job there. He didn't want me to work there. I asked him over and over again, hey, you hiring? Oh, I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah. Meanwhile, 2 months later, they hired somebody. Oh, they hired somebody? Yeah, well, No, I don't know. Anyway, I'm only kidding. I'm glad Bobby didn't get me the job there because I would have been unemployed. You know, when you go to the unemployment office and they ask you, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm an unemployed helicopter dispatcher. They go, oh, let me look at this pile over here of potential jobs that you could do. Oh, really? Helicopter dispatching? Yeah. We have so many openings, other openings for that. Okay, 10-year hardworking, dedicated, highly proficient employees released after putting in so many hours away from their families and friends. The quality of work, unfortunately, isn't nearly important as the relationships you have with people that you engage with. You only have your own value, self-worth, dignity, loyalty, and heart. Hold on, I got to make a loop-de-loop here, Coxsackie. It's a little busy this morning. I don't want to get rear-ended or front-ended. Okay, little loop-de-loop action here, so I don't have to pay for the toll between Albany and Saugerties. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to refer to whatever episode I tell the story about the loop-de-loop. Save a couple $1,000s a year on the New York State Thruway, which I can still do, even though it's cashless tolls. Geez, Bobby, what are you writing, a manifesto here? The quality of work, unfortunately, isn't nearly as important as the relationships you have with the people you engage with. You only have your own value, self-worth, dignity, loyalty, and heart. Damn, I wish my old boss was a listener, but he was too self-centered and egotistical to ever listen to anyone but himself. Wow. Way to go, Bobby. That's some share. That's a share. You okay, Bobby? I think he's all right. Lost his helicopter dispatching job. Helicopters to the rich and famous. He would tell me about some of the celebrities that super rich people like the Spielbergs and the Seinfelds and other Carl Icahn, I think. I don't know. All these different people that would, and other people you never heard of, but they're so filthy rich. And I think, I forgot, Bobby, if you're listening, you could type in I think it was like $15,000 an hour or some crazy number. Like, you could rent limousines, and they're traveling out to the Hamptons or whatever. But you know how many limos you can rent? You know how many buses? You know how much you could just, But for these people, getting there in a matter of 20 minutes is worth it to them to pay thousands of dollars. I think it was $8,000 an hour, some crazy number. And you also have to have some sort of partial ownership in the helicopter. It's crazy. I know, not everybody, the super wealthy like Spielberg and Seinfeld and Carl Icahn and some others. But anyway, one day maybe we'll have Bobby Massey back on the show as a guest, and we'll talk about things. And we'll talk about the super wealthy and the rich and famous renting helicopters. It's crazy. Anyway, that's what he did. He organized. It was crazy. He would tell me these stories about. It's a whole nother world. Listen, how many people do you know used to work as a helicopter dispatcher? None of you. I bet none of you. I knew Bobby. And of course, every time we would talk, he would monopolize the conversation because it was always about him. He would tell me all about his job, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I'm just kidding. Not really, but you know what I mean. It's a jokey show. 26 and a half minutes. Do I have time to do another episode? Let me see, how many comments do we have? Okay, only 5. Let's do it. Who refuses free medical care? My dad does. Number 263, episode 263. Again, I thought I was going to catch up, but I talked too much. I mumbled, and we didn't catch up. In this episode, Dave struggles to stay awake after working his third consecutive 14-hour round of nighttime truck drive. He then wakes himself up by playing some voicemails. Dave also talks about the free medical care his dad refused and how it severely affected him. Who refuses free medical care? 82 years old. We want to send somebody over to check you out for free? No. Yeah, but just in case. No. But you might have problems. No. I'll just take the limo and I'll drive to Manhattan to Columbia Presbyterian. I'll spend all day to get my checkup. Yeah, but we're going to come to your house. No. Okay. Whatever. My father's not interested in free medical care. All right. I'm going to go over. I don't want to go over. Linda Irwin. All 5 comments. I see Patrick Maruki click like. I see somebody else click like with no comments. Just Linda Irwin. Not just Linda Irwin. Especially Linda Irwin. Linda Irwin wrote, not even me, I didn't even leave a comment. Last time you played the school voicemail, I thought it was a wrong number since I get those all the time. Oh, yeah, right, the school one, that's right. It's your last chance to get your certificate. Oh, that's Shaw, S-H-A-W, what a ripoff. All right, Linda Irwin wrote, it is a beautiful day in our neighborhood of McCall, Idaho. Wow, that must mean she's not under fire. By the way, did I say the weather report? I said the mileage report. Yeah, it's very sunny out. It's another beautiful day in New York. It's not even a weekend. It's a Friday. Folks, if you're not living in New York City, New York State right now, you're wasting your time. It's beautiful out here. Every time I do a podcast, it's nice weather. One of these days, I'm going to torture an intern. I'm going to make him write it down every time I do a show. Nice weather or rainy weather. I think it's only rained like 3 or 4 times. In 4 or 5 years, I've done podcasts. We also don't have earthquakes or forest fires. Okay. Linda Irwin wrote, I also did not watch the town halls. That's how far behind I am. Linda Irwin wrote, the Care More program may get funding from either federal or state government. Okay. Linda Irwin wrote, my life insurance will cover my cremation and the transportation to where my ashes will be dispersed. Ooh, disbursement of ashes. All right, next episode is 264, but we got to be almost out of time. Yeah, we got less than a minute. All right, folks, I tried to catch up, but the diarrhea of the mouth, I couldn't do it. Yeah, but we're going to get to it. Maybe I'll do an episode tomorrow or tonight on the way in. These are just, listeners' comments, catching up, commenting on your comments of the comments that I've commented on. It's great. Can't wait to get this over with. I feel like we've been at this for 4 years now, trying to catch up. You know what I'm talking about? It feels like Groundhog Day every day. All right, I hope I thanked everybody. I want to thank you, the listener, for participating in this show. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance. Good rats, Godspeed. And great skills. Take care. And I'm not just saying that because it's recorded. I mean it.